aside from being known as the work from home draft or the virtual draft, I think that 2020 will very likely be known as the wide receiver draft. This group, there have been years where you couldn't find a wide receiver that really, I mean, like the John Ross year as an example. Like, there's nobody in that draft going into it that I was like, oh yeah, that's a guy. This is the totally. I mean, I can make an argument for a half dozen wideouts in the first round, like pretty easily, I think. So let's start with that and run through. Like, give me your top. Let's say your top five guys. Can you do that?
Yeah, I think to me, CD Lamb is the best guy. I know you will
I
probably
love it.
agree
You
with
stole
me.
my you stole my thunder there. That was my major proclamation for this part.
Oh no, I know like the Jeudy and the Ruggs and T Higgins, whoever you want to get into, but I just think not only does CD have the speed, but he's also a guy that he can beat you deep. He can take the little screen passes and he can turn them into 80-yard touchdowns. Um, he it's unreal the amount of tackles he breaks for a guy that's not huge. Um, I think he's the best.
Dude, I couldn't possibly agree more with you, and I know that surprises you a whole lot. But you're talking about, and did I watch CD play more than Jerry Jeudy? Well, yeah, I probably not a whole lot more, honestly, but yeah, I probably
You
did.
see Alabama every week.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I watched Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, et cetera, a good amount, but like CD is just he's just he's such an alpha on the field. I mean, gorgeous route runner. I know, Jerry Jeudy is the greatest route runner anyone has ever seen, and he is. He's a phenomenal route runner. He's probably a better route runner than CD, but not by much. And CD is a phenomenal route runner, and he just glides. So when you watch him play, the thing that always stood out to me is he never looks like he's laboring at all. He's just gliding in and out of breaks, and he's sudden when he has to be, and then he's incredibly physical at the catch point. I mean, he bailed Jalen out countless times. I wouldn't even dare put a number to it. I mean, we got to the point later in the season when Jalen started to regress a little bit where he would just throw it up and CD go make a play on the ball.
Hmm.
And he's also, like, to your point, he's an absolute battering ram with the football, dude. Like, once he has it, that doesn't mean anything. Like,
Yeah.
again, to your point, they could throw zero routes to him all day long. Forget the fact that he can stretch the field and do whatever you want down the field. They can just throw zero routes like they did against Baylor in the Big 12 championship game, and he's just going to shrug 500 tackles and go score. Uh, he's a video game player. He, in my opinion, yeah, the best receiver in the draft. And if the Cowboys drafted him at 17, and obviously I'm going to have a Cowboys slant to every opinion I have while we discuss this, but I don't even care that it would be redundant. I don't care that we have bigger needs. Like putting CD on the field with Amari and Michael Gallup. Shout out to Michael Gallup. That's immediately the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
It's really good, man. And if he's there at 17, which I think you're gonna have to go up to get him, but
Oh yeah, yeah. He won't be there, but
if he somehow does fall, yeah, I think you're crazy if you don't take him. Uh,
Jerry Judy's getting
two,
Beckham comps. Is that where you're going to? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, what'd you say?
Judy's been getting Odell Beckham Jr. comps. I've read that
Oh,
like 3 times.
really? No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going there. I'm actually I'm jumping Jeudy and Ruggs, and I'm putting Justin Jefferson number
Your
two.
boy. I knew it.
That,
I actually had in the very light notes I do have here, I had your boy next to Justin Jefferson.
yeah, that is my boy, Jet. I love him. Um, he got 111 passes this year, and I know LSU threw the ball all over the place. That is absurd.
He also ran a 4.44 at the combine.
Yes.
He wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
be that fast. I thought. I thought the knock on him was supposed to be that he was like a 4.6 guy.
Yeah, that it shocked everyone how fast he ran. I mean, this is a guy that was a two-star recruit, and I remember Bruce Feldman had a story on him that like literally some LSU players his first like week out there thought he was a walk-on. Like this is insane. He was the afterthought. His brother was the guy they wanted. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, and he's gonna go in the first round, and obviously I do think Jeudy and Ruggs are gonna go ahead of him because both those guys ran lightning quick and they produced like crazy. Um, but to me, he's just a guy. He he's going to get open. He makes really tough contested catches. He ran faster than you thought he would. I just think he's a more complete receiver than Jeudy or Ruggs. But like I said, I think Jeudy and Ruggs will go ahead of him. And my prayer is that he either falls to 30, which there are some mock drafts that have that. But I listened to Gutekunst earlier. He's moved up in the first. He'll move up again, but he needs to get in front of the Eagles and Vikings. They're in early 20. But that is my dream scenario for the Green Bay Packers Thursday night.
I'm sure your boy Aaron shares your dream scenario. Jefferson, I didn't even realize this until the other day because I hadn't played Madden in months, and obviously now I'm playing again. And there's this one draft class that I had uploaded from the PlayStation Share Cloud or however that works.
Mm-hmm.
Back in like August when I got the game, because obviously in Dynasty mode you want to play forward, you want to have real guys. And some saints out there in the virtual world have done all the work for you. They've built out the class just as if NCAA football still existed. And the other day I was playing it, and I was editing a little bit because I'm OCD, and I was trying to get the rankings like they are now, like postseason.
Yeah.
And I got to wide receivers, and Justin Jefferson literally wasn't even in the class. Like, not that he wasn't ranked high or what. There were 50 wide receivers in this export, and he was not one of them. I had to just make some other random kid him, and then, like, that's how far off the radar he was a year ago.
Yeah, it's insane. But I really, truly believe in him, and I think he's going to be a great pro.
Okay, so he's at 2, and then who's at 3?
He's at 2, and then I go Jeudy 3. Like you said, the route running, that's I've seen a few clips of him making these SEC like really good defensive backs just look stupid. It's insane.
Yep. His juke move is, speaking of video games, Jerry Jeudy's juke move is not real life.
I know. And I totally get why almost every ranking has him ahead of Jefferson. It's just kind of a personal opinion preference.
I like that. It's a little wrinkle. You know what? Yeah. Your rankings are probably different than anyone else's because you're going CD and Jefferson 1, 2. And I can't even hardly find anybody that goes CD 1, let alone drops Jeudy all the way to 3.
That's crazy to me that there's not even like many out there that have CD 1.
I mean, I'm sure there are, but you know what I mean? Like it seems like it's pretty unanimous that Judy's the one.
Yeah, it does. And that's just kind of crazy to me. You know, I watched him play every week in the Big 12, and he wasn't doing the same thing every week. I remember the play that sticks out to me is when OU was kind of down big to Kansas. He took that screen pass, and I swear broke – or Kansas State, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Well, at what point were we down big to KU?
Sorry. He broke tackles from every defender to score like a 70-yard little screen pass that it looked like it was going to gain 4 yards.
Yep.
And almost put you guys back in the game. It was insane. So, yeah.
There was a catch he made, and I should have pulled it up before so I'd get it right. I want to say it was either Baylor or Iowa State. And I don't know why I think that, but it was at home last year. And he went up with one hand. I mean, it was like, I brought up Odell. This was some Odell stuff right here. He went with one hand up over the defender. I swear he was 60 inches off the ground. And then got his foot down, and it should have counted. The referees robbed him of the greatest catch I've ever seen in a college game. Like,
I will say this about you two, is like literally last year you were saying that CD was going to be better than Hollywood.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You were.
I appreciate you pointing that out because I actually forgot to toot my own horn there, but toot. Saw that one coming. CD's he's just an alpha, man. When he walks out there, you're like, oh, okay, that's the guy.
Yeah.
At 4, what do you have, Ruggs?
So that was 3 Ruggs.
No, I had 3. I think I had 3 Jeudy.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I got my own stuff mixed up. Yes. 4 Ruggs, and then 5. I could go a lot of directions here.
Yes, you could.
And to me, this comes down to Denzel Mims, T. Higgins, and then I love Michael Pittman from USC.
Fair.
And I know a lot of people, and this is a guy that a lot of mock drafts have the Packers taking at 30, is Jalen Reagor. I don't like him as much as Mims and Higgins and Pittman because I like all three of those guys because of their size and they make really hard contested catches all the time, which you're
Hmm.
going to have to do in the NFL all the time. And if you watch Rager, he doesn't do that as much. It's more like trying to give him the ball in the open field or quick hitting stuff, and you hope he breaks it because
Yep.
he does have this blazing 4.3 speed. Uh, but I just think Mims, Higgins, and Pittman are just studs that can come in day one and line up and play with Aaron Rodgers. And I know the Packers could probably use a slot guy, but Jefferson can play inside. He's done that. So can Pittman. But I would trust those three guys more than I would Jalen Reagor.
Craziest thing is you just named 7 guys, all of which are legit. None of 8 if you count Rager. None of which I can argue with. And you still did not name my sleeper for the class.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Who you got?
So we agree that CD's the best.
Yeah.
Your top 5 I love. Your top 7.5, whatever you want to call it. But the sleeper of this group, in my opinion, that I think would normally be a first-round guy, maybe fringe first round, but he'd be a guy who'd be in the discussion, like top 1 or 2 guys off the board. And pretty much any other year I can think of is Laviska Shenault from Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is a run after the catch monster. And in 2018, that guy, I think he was one of the 10 best players in college football.
Yep.
Now, obviously, 19 was weird. But to be able to get a receiver like Shenault in the second round, and probably later in the second round, given the names you just rattled off, and hell, I don't even know, maybe he falls to the third round. I don't know. Point is, a guy like that, in every other year, I think he's he's in that 15 to 25 range,
No,
and
I
he's
think
so
you're right.
far off the board.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He would go in the first round any other year. I think the injury stuff this year hurt him a little bit, and then obviously with the loaded class, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes early second. Like if it's just a GM that's like, this is my guy, and he goes and gets him, and those guys are still on the board. And I don't. It's not that I don't like Laviska. I don't know. The injuries do worry me because he had there at the end of 2018. He had some stuff,
Yeah.
and then he played like maybe a little bit more than half the season this year. And maybe that was because like I know I'm going in the draft. I'm not going to rush back. And
we'll call that the Scottie Pippen from now on.
Yeah, not gonna mess up my summer. So no, Laviska's awesome. He, like you said, I was watching tape of him because early mock rounds I think had him more projected into the 30 pick there with Green Bay, and against like USC, he's taking these slant passes and just running away from
yeah.
backs.
Yeah, when he's right, he's a beast.